Kupopo, hello. Good evening. Yeah, this was me not adjusting my camera before I went live. Okay, yeah. So as I said, I'm starting... Hey, Misha. I'm starting an hour early this week on Tuesday and Wednesday since I don't have to go to work this week. Oh. A burb. And you guys finally get to hear the Canada Goose. That was the terrible 5 o'clock Canada Goose on my wall clock. Hello, Tribeca. Welcome. Yeah. So, I'm actually going to be starting a new project tonight. I have this really cool Lion brand put out in their ice cream line this yarn that is really pretty trans pride colors. I don't think they did that on purpose, but it's lovely, so I'm going to use it. I'm gonna try to make a shawl sort of vest thing out of it. I think I've worked it out to where I can just make a big rectangle out of really, like, make a lightweight fabric and then kind of fold it under the arms and stitch it so that it makes like a vest. Hello, Kitsune. Yeah, so I'm gonna see how this works, and I'm gonna be trying a new stitch for it in honor of both June being Pride Month, of course, and also I am helping to raise money for my friend Chris's top surgery. And if I manage to finish this, it will go on Etsy, and the profits from it will go to the GoFundMe as well. So if you haven't already, go check out their GoFundMe. Oh, that's actually not bad for Yarn Barf. I usually pull out a ton more when I pull the middle out of a skein like that. Yeah, go check out the GoFundMe. There's lots of cool stuff going on. We're getting there, and we're gonna get his surgery for him. So multiple reasons for me to start a trans pride. And also just, you know, even without Chris being my friend, trans rights are human rights. Trans people deserve the bodies that they need. So yeah, I'm always happy to support that. Do I have a proper sized hook? Yeah. 4, slightly smaller than I would want. Do I have a 4.5? Okay, there's a 4.5. Do I have a 5? I do. Okay, so I have a 4.5 and a 5. Probably want the 4.5, I think. Ah! My hooks are going everywhere. But yeah, so good evening, guys. I'll be going for probably 3-ish hours tonight. Depends on how fast I get really hungry. Because it's been really rainy and gross here all day, so Kara and I have just kind of been flopped, and I haven't really eaten today. I had a bagel and with cream cheese, and I've had several handfuls of Cheez-Its, and that might be it. And I realized, oh crap, I'm actually hungry, like 15 minutes ago, when it was too late. All right, let me just pull up the pattern here. Yeah, thank you, Kitsune. Thank you. Yes, everybody go eat, except for me. Okay, so I'm just pulling up the pattern here. Chain any multiple of 3 and then add 8. So I think the way this is going to work, stuffed chicken breasts in the oven. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Kara. You are the best, literally. Okay. So I think the way that this is going to work is that this foundation chain is going to be the, let's see if I can actually describe this in words, the vertical length of how long the vest will be, hanging from shoulder down to probably waist-ish. And then I'll make it, and then I'll do the length of it so that I end up with a big rectangle. And then I'll lay it so that it's across the shoulders, and the extra length gets like folded up under the arms and pinned at the shoulders. So we'll see if that works or not. Also, you could try Muja, but I think so I'm doing a lace stitch that's called cat's eye lace. So the turning on it might be slightly different than what I can do. A couple like, actually, yeah, let me do a tutorial on how I do my chains. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ah. Come on. 9, 10. Okay, so that's 10 chains. Let's say that you wanted to do, whatever you wanted to do is 10 stitches across. So for single crochet, you're gonna add 1 extra, because you can't do a stitch back into this first chain. So you're gonna add 1 extra as what they call a turning chain, and then the very first one you can go back into is this one. So for single crochet, you're just gonna go straight into it, up, and do your single crochet, and then continue that all the way across. The white yarn probably isn't super visible, but hopefully I'm also by no means an expert. No, so the thing is, you can't go back into the 11th. You would go back in, you chain the 11th so that you have the length you need to go back into the 10th. So when I go all the way across here, I should have 10 stitches. The problem is, just because of the way that the yarn loops in on itself, you can't go back into the chain that's still on your hook. So you have to do 1 extra, which I think is where a lot of people get trouble with shrinkage, is they don't realize that. And they'll go back into the first chain they can and finish their row and be like, well, wait, why is this less than I wanted it to be? And it's because you have to skip that first chain. As far as just like physics, because of the way that the yarn is looped around your hook. And yeah, this is ending up very, very curly, but your first chains will do that. Also, hi Dobby, good evening. I'm doing a quick like stitch and turning tutorial while I'm on camera before I actually start my project. So this should be the very last one here. And the last one's always the hardest because it gets pulled tight against the knot. And you kind of have to, or at least I kind of have to use my nails to separate the yarn out. There we go. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the same thing goes, so for single crochet, again, this is just single crochet. So when you finish your first row, again, you can't really turn it and go back into here. It's not enough yarn. So you'll need to chain 1, again, that they call a turning chain, flip it over, and go right back into this first one. Again, that's just single crochet. And also these are just kind of rules of thumb. Sometimes if you're following a very specific pattern and they want to give you a certain effect, they'll tell you differently. So for single crochet, you chain 1 and go right back into the one you just finished, and that gives you the nice crisp straight up edge. And then when I get to the end of this row, I'll show you double crochet is slightly different. I'm always happy to go through things when I'm on camera as well. Yeah, that's fair. Singles and doubles are pretty much your most basic stitches. So you go into the very last one here for another single. And again, that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you were going to do double crochets, you're going to either chain 2 or chain 3. It depends on the weight of the yarn and your own preferences. I usually just chain 2, but you need to give yourself a little bit of height because double crochets are taller. And because of that, when you turn, these chains that you do are actually going to count. Well, okay, so again, it kind of is based on personal preference. If you chain 3, you're going to go up higher, and these 3 chains will actually count as your first stitch. So for double crochet, you'll loop it and actually go into this one here. You're going to actually skip this very first stitch and go into the second one, because those chains will count as your first stitch. If you chained 3 and went into this first one, by the time you got back, that's how you sort of end up gradually increasing. If that's a problem you're having, it's probably because you're chaining for double crochets and crocheting in the first stitch. Because usually the way that it's taught to do is chain 3, so you'll do your double crochets all the way across, chain 3, do your double crochets all the way back for row 4, and then your last double crochet you do into the chains. That's why it counts as a stitch. The other way you can do it, which is usually what I do, is to only chain 2, but then go into that first one. Yeah. So again, it depends on your personal preference. You just have to pick one way or the other and make sure that you keep doing it that way. Because for me, going into this first stitch, I have to remember, okay, well, when I get to the end of the rows, I'm not doing an extra stitch into the chains. I'm only stitching in my doubles. Or you have to remember, okay, I skipped that first stitch. I need to do it into the chains. So it doesn't really matter which method you use. You just have to make sure you remember and stick to the same method. If you're forgetting or you're mixing your methods, that's probably why you're having increase and decrease issues. Or one of the biggest reasons why, most likely. All right. So yeah, hopefully that was at least kind of helpful. I know it always, for me, actually seeing somebody do it is much more helpful than just trying to read it on a pattern or just hear it described. Okay, so to actually start this shawl thing, sorry, coffee called. So it wants me to chain any multiple of 3 and then add 8. And this is probably going to be fairly long because I want it to be the entire vertical width of the vest. So pardon me while I disengage and count for like 4 minutes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Yeah, turning, well, and the foundation row, like your first row working into the chains, is always the hardest part. If you can get past your foundation row, you're golden. Or at least that's how it's always been for me. Trying to work into the chains is the absolute hardest part of any sort of project. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just realized I'm yelling. I should probably turn my headphones down a little. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I know, riveting content. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm getting there. Just kind of casually measuring it against myself. Probably close. 1, 2, 3. Muja has fed our little carby steak. Thank you, Muja. 40 channel points away from forcing a board game arena play. Go for it. I deliberately did not do mine in the last half hour or so to try to let them build up. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Aha! Kuma, Dobby beat you to it. But that's okay. So it can be redeemed once per hour. So if you want to hit me again in an hour, Kuma. Alright, so let's see if I did this right. Come on. There we go. Okay. Hit refresh. Alright, 9+. Let's see here. Seasons. Oh, this is the Kite and Kitsune game. Choose a dice. I need grass. There we go. Next table. Hardback. I have fluids. While I'm at it, everybody hydrate. I'm playing fluids and all you guys should too. Yes, I know phrasing. Ooh, okay. Do I want to purchase probably either the C or the L, eh? The C might be my better bet. I'll go with that. Okay, interesting. Thole. I do not think that's a real word. I also have the I I'll be able to play. I just can't drag it up here when it's not my turn. Ravioli. Yoy. I'm sort of good at wordplay. Not really. Suppose I can switch back. Let's see. There should be a poke Kara on buttons mode. Poking Kara on buttons is poking Kara on Discord. Oh no, Muja, please help. You're not in this game. I'm sure there's something really obvious I'm missing. I mean, étoile, but that's not English. Thole is a word? Okay. Excellent. I mean, the hardback dictionary is weird sometimes, but yeah, I will give that a try next round and see if that actually pulls. I think it's supposed to use the American English Scrabble dictionary, but sometimes it seems like it doesn't, because there's definitely been some where we've all gone, hey, that's a word, and the game is just like, nope, no, it's not. Okay, boomerang. I don't have another bicycle here, which would have been ideal. So I will go for this one because I don't have the N checked off down here yet. Confirm. And I immediately get to go again. Excellent. And no bicycle and no train, but I will take this one. Okay, next table. Yay, sushi go. Darn it, I was hoping for more dumplings. I will take a pudding. Potion explosion. Oh man, Kitsune is kicking our pants off. Alright, so let's fill in these. This is another game I'm not particularly great at, but I find it fun. Okay, so I need lots of yellows, and I need some reds. If I pull this, I will get the reds and the blacks. And then potentially yellows if there's another yellow up there. So I guess I will... Okay, just the reds and the blacks. That's fine. I can also drink potions if I want. Take one ingredient of your choice. Yeah, we'll do that. And I'll grab a yellow. And then fill these in. Hopefully things line up that I can get a bunch of yellow next turn. Put that in my bonus. Finish. I've also been getting really weird errors on Board Game Arena lately. We'll see if any of them actually show up on here or not. Thole means to endure in patience or silence. Interesting. Okay, Tokaido. I am the little yellow guy here. Okay, I don't have any of the Mountain Vista yet, and I don't think... I mean, I could complete it if I hit... No, I couldn't, because it's the mountain, I believe, is the 4. So in that case, I will skip ahead and grab my next field one, because I have that already started. Next. Yeah, here, I keep getting this. And if I hit the switch to another language, English, which it should already be English, but that fixes it, and I don't know why. Alright, Azul. Well, that's convenient. Somebody kindly left me 4 of this one. There we go. Nice. One of the 6 Nime games. We'll go with that one. It should slot in there, hopefully. Next. Railways of the World. This is another one that I'm not really good at it. I really like it. It's fun. But it's one of those games where I'll think I'm doing everything right, and I'm playing really, really well, and I'm like feeling like I'm in the groove, and then I'll look up and Kitty will have literally twice as many points as me, and I don't know how that happens. Do I want to build there, or do I want to build... Actually, let's build... No, cancel. Let's build here. It's gonna cost a bit more, but I'll be able to shuffle all those blues back and forth and make a ton of cash. Next. Castles of Burgundy. The Kitty and Yelp game. Okay, I've got a 4 and a 5. And I've got a sheep. Okay, so what's in depots? I can get more sheep. I can get... Oh, that's a good one. Alright. Let us use the 4 to purchase another sheep, and the 5 to place a sheep. And we'll call that turn. Next. Hand and foot. The Kite, Kuma, and Kitsune game. The team game that I'm actually semi-decent at, unlike spades. Okay, so that queen I can slot in there. Trying to hold my wilds because we'll need to make a wild contract at some point. So we'll call that turn. King Domino, which I am sometimes good at and sometimes not good at. And this is one that's somewhat more luck-based, at least for me. Ooh, there we go. Take that. Next. Oh, I guess I should check chat. Hello, Merlin. 24 minutes after it started. I know. I guess I should have poked you directly. I wasn't thinking about it. Yes, Kite definitely has magical powers. I think what it is that Kite is just wise enough to abuse the cards aggressively in a way that I've not yet quite learned how to. Okay, this is problematic. Because if I choose the 34, it could land here. And this game is such where you don't want to fill in these last spaces, because then you'll take the whole row, and however many little pips are on the cards you take will be subtracted from your score. And whoever hits 0 first loses. So this is actually one of those games where you don't want to score points, or you want to score as few as possible. So if I hit the 34, it could go in here quite easily. And the same thing, the 89 and the 92 could go in here. So I think I'm gonna just play that and hope I get lucky and somebody else fills in the last spot first. Because they'll play them in order of ascension. So like if I've played the 34 and somebody else has played the 43 will get laid down first. Oh yes, my Hanafuda game with Kitsune. Wherein she is kicking my butt. But I'm still enjoying it because it's Hanafuda. Okay, that's it. I did it. Switch. There we go. Lean back. That was your potentially hourly board game interlude. Alright. Is this as long as I want it? Just kind of measuring it against myself. Maybe a little bit more. I do want it to be kind of drapey. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, also the length that it's going to hang in the back. So like, I don't want it to hang too low. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That seems about right, actually. Don't want to mess with it too much and make it too long. 2, 3. Yeah, we'll call that the length. Finished before you can make it my turnip buttons. I mean, there's always later. Like I said, that could be redeemed once an hour. Oh, sure. I will accept that before I forget. Koi Koi is fun. I really, really enjoy it. It is a fantastic game. And I don't get to play it nearly enough. Here we go. Alright, I should pull up my crochet pattern again though. There we go. Alright, so that's my multiples of 3, and then it wants me to add 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Row 1, single, let's see, skip 1 chain, single crochet in the next chain. Okay. So this is where I hate reading patterns, because it's like it says skip 1 chain. So does it want me to skip the first crochetable chain? I'm going to assume so. So single crochet in the next chain, which would be this one. Chain 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2 chains, single crochet in the next chain, and then repeat. Okay. So 1, 2. I'm counting things. Oh God, dinner.
Yeah, for whenever you take a break.
I was gonna say you're gonna make me eat dinner on stream.
No, just whenever you take a break, and that way you don't have to come looking for it.
No, just set it there by the mic. Eat. Thank you. Okay. Moogle mail is food.
The most loving Moogle males are all full of food.
That's true. Oh, I see. Okay, so we're sort of starting the base of the lace here. Ooh, and Merlin has fed our dragon too. I'm not sure cookies are an ideal dinner, but they're a dragon, so they can eat whatever they like. Okay, so it's going to be chain 3, skip 2, single crochet all the way back across. So 1, 2, 3, skip 2. So 1, 2, oh Lord. This is why I hate doing foundation chains. 1, 2, so there. Single crochet. All right, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2. 1, 2, so there. Once I get this done, and I'm start like actually doing the rows, I'm sure it will be much better. It's just trying to work into the chains. It's a pain in the butt. 3. Skip 2. 1, 2. So that one. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2. 1, 2. There. This is it. You guys are just gonna hear a lot of counting. Interesting look, though. We'll see how it shakes out. 1, 2, 3. The picture I've got over there to the side is what it's supposed to look like once I get it. 2, 3. Oh gosh, Kitte's trying to throw me off. Luckily for you, Kitte, I'm very skilled in counting to 3. 1, 2, 3. Also, hi Kitte. Good evening. Is that a chain? So the problem with working into chains is that as you work into them, they get pulled weird, just by the way that the yarn works. So sometimes it can be hard to tell. Yeah, that's 1, 2, so there. And that's part of why it makes it such a pain, because you have to count and like stare at it so carefully. 1, 2, 3. Okay, gonna just one, two, so there. Because when the yarn gets pulled weird, it can be so easy to miss one. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, there. That's 1, 2, there. 2, 3. So 1, 2, there. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, 2, there. Oh, we've got a corkscrew going. I mean, that's fairly typical for first row of crochet, though. Your tension, because it doesn't matter whether you're right-handed or left-handed, although usually, so you can see mine's twisting this way. If I was left-handed, it would probably be twisting the other way. But the thing is, just because you're with crochet and you're only using one hook, your tension is all going in one direction. So it'll start twisting until you get multiple rows, because the alternating rows will end up with alternating tension. So in the end, it'll all straighten itself out. It's just while you're working your first row or two, because there's nothing else to balance the tension, you'll kind of end up with a corkscrew, but that's totally natural. And you'll hear some people say like, oh, if your crochet is twisting, it means you're using too much tension. But that's kind of a myth. It's gonna happen at least a little bit no matter what. Just because it's a very directional craft. And you kind of can't help all of the tension going in one direction. 3. 1, 2, there. I have counted everything properly. Oh Lord. Okay, so 1 there, 2 there, so 3rd. I'll know if I've counted everything properly, because when I get all the way down to the end, the counts should match up. And like I shouldn't have any stitches left over when I get to the end, but we'll see. 1, 2, there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, there we go. Sasha hair. Okay, 1, 2. I think I want it. Oh Lord. 1, 2, there. I need like a t-shirt with a crochet hook on it that just says the foundation row is always the hardest part. 1, 2, there. Foundation row legit the worst. Okay. 1, 2, there. Oh yeah, that's right. I had actually totally forgot that your family does the t-shirt thing. 1, 2, there. One, 2, 3. Did you manage to do your test mugs this week, Merlin? How'd they turn out? Or I guess this week. It's only Tuesday. I have no idea what day of the week it is right now, just because I'm not at work. 3. I keep forgetting it's only Tuesday. 1, 2, 3. Too exhausted to actually do the testing. No, that's totally fair. And definitely take care of yourself first. 2, 3. I hope you're able to get some rest. Yeah, exactly, Dobby. I don't think time is real. Okay, 1, 2, there. Like, I fully intended to do stuff today, and then I didn't. I just kind of played Monster Hunter for 7 hours. Shh. Well, no, closer to 6. It's fine. I'm on vacation. That's what I'm supposed to do. 2, 3. Although I was intending to play Final Fantasy for 7 hours, not Monster Hunter, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, there. Almost to the end. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, there. 1, 2, 3. 1, It also doesn't help that it was just like gross and rainy all day today. Because like Kara and I were talking about, like last night we were saying, oh yeah, we'll get up and we'll go for a walk in the morning-ish. And that usually helps us, like, you know, we actually get dressed and get moving, and that sort of jump starts us for the day. But it's been like real gross weather out today, so we just kind of sat around instead because we couldn't go on a walk because it was raining. And also rainy weather makes Kara have headaches a lot, so she didn't feel great today. So it just kind of turned into being a lazy tea drinking, couch cuddling kind of day, which is fine. You need those two sometimes. You did fall asleep for like 2.5 hours. Hey Cho, good evening. A Draith piercing? I'm not sure I'm familiar with that, Muja. Is it something that helps with like pressure headaches and stuff? Because that's usually what it is for Kara. It's the rainy weather creates like a pressure bubble that messes with her head. Yeah, that sucks, Dobby. Type of piercing in the ear that helps with pressure headaches. Interesting. Ooh, a camp weekend does sound lovely. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're kind of hoping, Kara and I are hoping that we'll be able to go out to Jade's parents' cottage again this summer. We got to go out for a long weekend last summer and it was lovely. Alright. I miscounted somewhere. I've only got 2 chains left instead of 3. So I definitely skipped a stitch somewhere. But I am too lazy to unravel this and attempt to do it again. So, what I'm going to do is pretend there's an extra chain here that isn't actually here. Shh. I'm just gonna pretend that's 3 chains instead of 2. And once it's finished, no one will be able to tell. That's the secret to crochet, friends. When it doesn't fit, fudge it. Okay. Here we go. So that's row 1. Allegedly. Let's see. The piercing isn't proven or anything, but it is one that a number of people I knew who got them, as I did, ended up getting it and helped lessen the severity and frequency. Interesting. And you find that it does help for you too, Muja? Because that's definitely something interesting to look into. Huh. Oh yeah, crochet is so nice for fudging. Yarn is so nice and stretchy. Thank you, Muja. I will definitely take a look at that and pass it on to Kara. Or if you even just want to ping it at Kara on Discord. Okay. I should pull up my pattern again and see what it wants me to do for row 2. Row 2, reverse side. Okay. So, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. Single crochet in the chain 3 space, so here. Not in any of the particular stitches, just in the chain space itself. Chain 1. Double crochet in the next single crochet. Oh, I see how this works, I think. the next single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain 3 space. Aha, I do think I see how this is going. Chain 1, double crochet in the next single crochet, and repeat. Okay, interesting. Oh boy. Come on, yarn. Oh boy. This is fine. Here we go. This is fine. Okay, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, interesting. Well, I'm definitely glad it works for you, Muja. And yeah, thank you for sharing. I will take a look at that. Or no, that was a chain. My hands were doing the right thing, my mouth wasn't. Double crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, double crochet, luckily, Kara wasn't getting like a migraine today, but it was definitely kind of a headache and the rain blahs. I get that too a little bit sometimes, where I'm just kind of really fuzzy on rainy days and I just can't make my brain function. But luckily I don't tend to get full-on migraines the way that Kara does. Hear the oven beeping. It beeped for Jade. I kind of figured. It's just so interesting that I am upstairs behind a closed door with my headphones on, and yet I can still hear the oven beeping. Single crochet. Have a good night, Merlin. Have a safe trip home. Be careful. Have a good evening. Crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, double crochet. See, I like this because it's mindless enough once you figure out what the repetition is, that I'll be able to do it like in front of the television or while listening to a podcast or something. That's why I like doing stitches as opposed to patterns, because usually if I'm crocheting, it's while I'm also doing something else or listening to something else. So I like having a repetition that I can just do over and over and over without having to pay too much attention or like count rows or like know what's coming up 3 rows from now, you know what I mean? I have found like some really cute like shawl patterns and stuff, but I'm sitting here going, oh god, every row is different. I would have to pay so much attention. That's something you actually sit down and do, not pick up while you're doing other things like I usually do for crochet. There we go. Reading crochet? You could. I actually have a friend that does. She makes like washcloths and dish towels and stuff that are all just single crochet. So yeah, she'll sit and either have her computer open in front of her or have a book open across her knees. I'm not quite that good yet. I still have to like look at my yarn as I'm doing it, but she's incredibly fast. I'm just waiting to not be paying attention for this one and put a double crochet where there should be a single crochet, or vice versa. I'm sure I will at some point. Or I'll forget the chains in between. That's gonna happen too. You named your Kuliaku KFC. That's perfect. That sounds like the perfect name for a Kulu. Double. Please tell me you named your Velocidrome dial up or dial tone, because that's also accurate. I have been playing Monster Hunter Stories 2 all day, and because of that, Kara has now started a file. Because it's so fun! And like, it's got all of the good Monster Hunter mechanics, while also being turn-based, which is super nice. Oh, we have hit blue. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how the colors shake out on this once I've got more rows done. I don't think it'll end up fully striped. It might end up a little bit more patchy, but I'm okay with that. I think it'll end up looking really cool. Single. So far, I think I've remembered the chains in between everything. We'll find out. And again, crochet is super easy to fudge, so if I've missed a chain somewhere, it's alright. I'll just pretend it's there. The chains are just to give it a little bit more spacing, since I am skipping stitches. Ah! Oh no! Alright, frickin'. Okay, there. Good. If you ever hear me burst into swears while crocheting, it's probably because I've found an internal knot in my variegated yarn. This one it won't matter so much. Oh! Burp! Yeah, this one it won't matter so much if I find a knot that resets the color pattern, because the color's a little bit more loosey-goosey anyway. But when I was making the rainbow colored cardigan that I made for Kara, there was an internal knot that reset the colors, and I was so mad. because that one, like, the color patterning was very, very deliberate. It turned out looking fine. It just isn't a nice smooth rainbow the way that I wanted it to be. Because it was, I had started, the beginning of the skein was green and had then moved into blue, and then there was an internal knot that reset it back to green, and yeah, I got very mad. And it's one of those things where it looks fine. If you didn't know, you probably wouldn't notice. Looking at the cardigan, you might just think, oh, that's a little strange. But I know. And it could have been better. It could have just been a nice smooth progression of colors, but no. Single. Okay, almost done. And now I'm gonna bet our next row is gonna be back to chains and skips again to create the lace effect. I have not actually looked at this pattern all the way through. Oh, I also, so yesterday, I got the email saying that my proposal for a set of Pokemon themed shaker charms got accepted for Desert Bus, for the craft along. So I'm real excited about that. It's gonna be much less work than Yalk's blanket will be. So I went through a bunch of my cards yesterday, pulled out the ones that I knew I had, and then put in an order for the ones that I still needed. So I think I'm going to do a set of evolutions. So it'll be a set of 8 now. Because there's Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Umbreon, Espeon, Glaceon, Leafeon, and then Sylveon. So 9. It'll be a set of 9. Yeah, so I ordered the cards that I need, so hopefully those will come in this week, and I can start doing, like, planning out what dyes I want, what shapes they're gonna be, and how I want to, like, fill them. So it'll be really fun, and they better turn out real well. Well, I mean, of course they will. I'll make sure they do. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I've also got, so there's people on Etsy I found that make, like holographic, I don't know what you want to call it, like sticky acetate, essentially. It's like clear lamination that's sticky on one side, but it's like holographic sparkle and bubble effects. And it's meant for like scrapbooking or making stickers, you know, like you would overlay the sparkles over top of your sticker design and then cut it on a Cricut or whatever. But I've ordered a sheet to see if I can experiment and use it in shaker charms, to use it as the like the transparency that serves as the front of the shaker charm, to give that some extra sparkle. So I'll have to do some experiments and see what the best way of using that is. But I might be able to incorporate that into the Evolutions ones too. And then my thought is doing Evolutions this year as sort of a kickoff, I guess. And then if because I'm already planning, I'd love to be able to do these again, you know, each year for Desert Bus. And I'm thinking that I could do, like, I could go up through the regions and do, like, next year's could be Kanto All-Stars, where it's like the 3 starters from Kanto plus like some of the legendaries and Eevee and Pikachu and like the notable notable Pokemon from that region, and then the next year would be Johto, and then the year after that, you know, continuing on. I think that could be really fun. So that's kind of the rough plan. Hopefully these are turn out nice and are as popular as I think they will be. I've not really seen anything like that on Desert Bus before, so I hope they'll do well. And Pokemon stuff always tends to do well, so. Well, thank you, Cho. Cho has fed our little Carby. More cookies. You guys are spoiling him. For those wondering, the breeding option will just breed it with another random pet and give it like new characteristics, new eyes, new colors, new patterns, that kind of thing. They're all super cute. I do not mind if you breed it. I do not mind if it changes appearance. Okay, row 4. So, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. And Kara has fed it tacos. Taco. Single crochet. What? Oh, right. Okay, that was row 2. So this is row 3. Sorry, I skipped ahead. So I should only chain 1. Yeah, because the chains was separate, and then that was row 1, and then this is row 2. Okay, so row 3. Chain 1, turn. Dragons love tacos, of course. Single crochet in the first double crochet, so that's here. I was right. Chain 3, 2, 3. Single crochet in the next, yeah, so I'm skipping the single crochet and going to the double crochet. And then repeat. So 1, 2, 3. Skip that and go here. Okay, so this is going to be real easy once I get it established. Good to know. 1, 2, 3. I mean, honestly, I think just about any living creature loves tacos. I love tacos. I'm sure there's people out there that do not love tacos, but that is okay. No, we've hit a lighter blue. 1, 2, 3. much easier than trying to work into the chains. Aww, a really cute kids book called Dragons Love Tacos. I might have to look that up. I actually collect children's picture books. Most of them are still at my parents' place. But it used to be for a long time when I was in high school and university. Anytime I found like a kid's book that I really liked the art of, I would just buy it. I was always a Dr. Seuss kid. Dr. Seuss and Winnie the Pooh were sort of my big ones when I was little. Oh, thank you, Cho. I need to take a look at this. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Oh, that's really cute. Aww. Yeah, that's really, really cute. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I might have to pick up a copy of that. I'm trying to think if there were any, like, very specific books. My sister really, really loved... Oh, and I don't remember the name of it now, but the one that's about a fish with a rainbow scale, and the scale actually is, like, foil, like prismatic foil in the book. I forget what it's called, and I know there were a couple of them. But my sister really, really loved that one. Yeah, the rainbow fish. I couldn't remember if that's actually what it was called or if it had another name to it. Yeah, my sister loved that. I always liked any of the Winnie the Pooh books. My grandparents got me like a really big, nice, like coffee table version of all the original A.A. Milne ones when I was like 9 or 10. And I used to just have my dad read that to me. Well, not the whole thing, obviously. But I would just have my dad read to me from the original A.A. Milne Winnie the Pooh when I was little. And then I think there were a couple Dr. Seuss books that my parents got so sick of because after a while I just had them memorized. I think Hop on Pop was one of them, and Go Dogs Go. I remember I had like this really weird obsession with Go Dogs Go. But I just love kids' books in general. And yeah, I know Dr. Seuss is not an incredible person, but when I was 6 in the 90s, I didn't exactly know that. I feel like if you asked my parents, they would probably have an answer for you immediately. But I was one of those kids where I kind of skipped like the picture book early reader sort of era. I went straight from, you know, like Dr. Seuss straight to, I read Black Beauty in like grade 1. I mean, granted, I think it was like one of those abridged like kids editions, but it was still like a chapter book. I kind of hopped right over the intermediate reader kind of things. I used to get like the Amelia Bedelia books out of the school library, and I'd finish them in one afternoon and take them back and want to get other ones. Oh, actually, have any of you ever heard of the Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle books? I loved those as a kid. They were kind of the same reading level as well, no, they were a little more advanced than Amelia Bedelia, but they were like the sort of early kids first chapter book kind of thing. And I don't know when they were written. They had to have been written in like the 40s or 50s because they had that kind of vibe. But what it was is each chapter was about parents would be having some kind of a problem with their child that was usually like a behavioral problem. And they had tried everything and they couldn't get their kid to behave. So they would go to Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle, and Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle would give them like a magical cure that was always like really convoluted. Like the only one I remember specifically is there was a boy that would not take a bath, and like his parents had tried everything. They could not get him to take a bath. So they went to Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle and they're like, what do we do? Our child will not take a bath. And she told them, well, okay, just let him don't take a bath. And when there's enough dirt on him, here's some seeds. Just press the seeds into the dirt on him while he's asleep. And it'll start growing moss and he'll get freaked out and want to take a bath. And that's what happened. Like, the parents just let the kid get filthier and filthier. And then once there was enough dirt accumulated on him, they planted these moss seeds. And he was convinced that, like, he was turning into a plant monster. So he all of a sudden wanted to take a bath. And they were all like that. Like, I remember there was one, and I don't remember what the cures were for them. But, like, there was one where I think there was a girl that wouldn't chew with her mouth closed. So she was making, like, the gross mouth chewing noises. And so Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle, like, I think Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle might have given the parents, like, magic gum or caramel that, like, stuck her mouth closed or something. And I remember as a kid, I always thought they were hilarious because it was these bratty kids getting what was coming to them. And as an adult looking back on them, I'm kind of like, okay, that was definitely written in like the 50s because that's not okay. But like as a kid, I thought it was hilarious, right? And there was one, I think there was one where a kid wouldn't stop talking in class and wouldn't be quiet. I don't remember what any of the other ones were, but I just remember they were all really like convoluted and like you couldn't quite tell if Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle was magic or if she just had child psychology down pat. I'm not sure I'm recommending them because like I said, looking back on them, I'm kind of like, I don't know if that was okay from a child autonomy standpoint. I just remember being like, I really liked them when I was a kid. And I think I still have them around somewhere. Because like I said, I collect children's books and I've kept most of my books from when I was a kid. So I'm betting that book is still hanging around in my parents' place somewhere. And now I kind of want to find it and reread it as a 35-year-old just so I can go, what the F? I'm glad I'm not Crazy Cho. Like, I'm glad somebody else remembers that too. And it was, I don't know if there was more than one book, but I remember the book that I had like 5 or 6 of the little chapter-length stories in it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, how do I finish this row? Chain 3, single crochet in space of the chain 4 turning chain. Okay, here. And this is where we chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. Okay, now we start on row 4. single crochet here. And this is going to be chain 1. Yeah, this is going to be our in-between. And then double crochet here. Chain. Single crochet here. Okay, yeah, so this will be our repeat then. This is not bad at all. I like this a lot. Excellent. Oh, good grief, how is it already almost 6:30? Time flies when you're discussing childhood literature and playing board games. As you do. Yes. Yes, exactly, Dobby. As we've established, time is a lie. You are entirely correct. These colors a lot too. Like, I wasn't sure how the striping would come out. It looks like it is gonna stripe pretty nicely for us. Maybe not exactly, but I mean, I think I might be speaking too soon on that. We should get a few more rows done first. I just heard Kara go, "There we go," from somewhere downstairs, and I'm not sure I want to know. I'm sure she's doing something wild in Monster Hunter. Ah, egg sparkle. Got it. Sometimes the egg sparkles and sometimes it doesn't. Such is life. me quietly muttering my stitches to myself. It's fine. Everything is fine. Nope, nope, nope. This is a single. Told you at some point I'm gonna get them backwards. Nope, stop that. Behave, yarn. Hello, Rubik. Good evening. Or I guess it would be good morning for you. Yeah, it would be good morning for you, because you are in the future. I am getting the hang of this new stitch. I'm quite liking how it's coming out. Morning cat cuddles time? That sounds amazing. I think it's always cat cuddles time, at least according to the cat. But morning is definitely one of the times in which you can do it. Aw, it sounds so nice though. Give the kitty a scritch for me. If they are inclined to be scritched. I've definitely known cats where they're like, I'm going to sit on you, but do not touch me. I will touch you and invade your space, but don't you dare touch me in return, human. to remember to keep my crochet down and not 2 inches away from my nose. I just had a strange thought of like, could you do a crochet pattern with espresso shots? Just like follow the pattern and one day you get a single and the next day you get a double. I'm not sure what the chains would be. Maybe decaf? I'm just sitting here muttering single and double to myself. And I just kind of wondered, like, what if I was talking about espresso? Aww. Well, at least he wants pets sometimes, Rubik. Nope, single. I'm totally paying attention. And should be a double here. That's the end of the row. Ooh, yes, I like that. You can see how the lace is starting to form there. I like this. Oh yeah, mood, Rubik. So Sasha is her shelter name as well. We were considering renaming her, but after like a day and a half, we were like, yeah, no, we can't. Sasha fits her so well. She is definitely a Sasha. Pumpkin is a sit next to you and get all the attention cat. Oh, I want to meet Pumpkin and Chicken someday. Chicken will eventually bless you with letting you pet her if she likes you. Aww. Blessed by Chicken. We would love to come visit. It's a matter of cash. My pronouns are she, her. And thank you for asking, Bread. I appreciate that. Yeah, I am working with trans flag yarn in honor of a friend of mine. I'm not trans myself. And yeah, my pronouns are she, her. But thank you for asking. I definitely appreciate that. Okay, so I'm gonna double check what... Yeah, right? This yarn is so pretty. I love it. It's gonna be a shawl eventually. And thank you for the follow, Onyx Claw. I appreciate that. Very, very much. Okay, so next row is, yeah, so chain one, turn. As I mutter my way through this crochet pattern that I am just learning. Single crochet here. And then it's gonna be, yeah, now it's gonna be the chains. 2, 3. And Bread, thank you also for the follow. Bread0, I appreciate that. My yarn does say trans rights. I also say trans rights. And since I've got a couple new people in here, I will shout it out again. Very specifically right now, I'm helping to raise money for my friend's top surgery. He's already waited long enough as it is, so a bunch of us are helping to raise money to try to get him his top surgery. So if you could take a look at the GoFundMe, we really appreciate it. This shawl, once it's finished, will be going up on Etsy, and the proceeds will be going to his fund. I know there's a bunch of artists that are offering commissions in exchange for donations. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. So yeah, absolutely trans rights. And if you want to help make a difference in one trans person's life, even if it's just spreading the word about the GoFundMe, we really, really appreciate that. So yeah, thank you. Oh, Muja says to stretch. Okay, so let me put this stitch in. Yes, everybody, and hydrate. Yes, everybody stretch and hydrate. I am crocheting, so I'm going to stretch my hands and fingers specifically. Muja does say self-care. Thank you. Much appreciated, Muja. And speaking of self-care, I have dinner in front of me, so I'm actually going to take a short break to eat some dinner and self-care myself. I am going to go until about 8:30, so another while longer. But I'm going to take a quick break and eat. If you have also not eaten, you should eat things. Take care of yourselves, definitely. So I'm going to go on a brief break, and I will be back in like 5-ish minutes. Thank you. I am back. I have eaten. I have gotten up and stretched. Also, good evening, Randus. Hello. So I crochet. I also quilt. That's and do like patchwork. That's usually what my Sunday streams are. And then I do resin crafting. Like I pour resin to make things. But yeah, Yalk is the real Omni crafter around here. I think they do just about everything under the sun. Or have at least tried everything under the sun. But I mean, there's no shame in just crocheting. If you enjoy it, then go for it. No one says you have to do a lot of crafting or do many crafts. If what you enjoy is one, then do what you enjoy. 3. Oh yeah, Kara cross stitches. A few things above the sun. Yeah, that sounds right. I do also cross stitch, but not nearly as often as Kara. Or as well as Kara. She's had a lot more practice at it than me. Icarus, no. Yup. Also, Yalk, I only just realized, like, 2 seconds ago where your username came from. That's fantastic. I always just kind of assumed it was a nonsense word, and then I looked closer at it and I was like, oh. Did I do that right? Yes, okay. Even something as simple as this, if I'm not paying attention, I'm gonna put this into the wrong stitch. I swear. That's true. There's enough of us that do fiber arts. We could probably quickly construct a net to be able to catch the Yalk if they do get too close to the sun. Just frantic quicksand thing in the distance. Yeah, that's true, Dobby. Which is probably why it took me so long. Because now I follow Yalk on Instagram. So I do get that particular information. I think it's just because it's your username, Yalk, and I'm so used to, you know, after 20 plus years, seeing all kinds of just random nonsense usernames that my brain has stopped trying to parse any meaning out of them. I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, a username of random letters and symbols. Okay, cool. How can I try to pronounce that without actually stopping to wonder if it has meaning? Yeah, creative writing absolutely counts, Randus. It might not be like crafting in the traditional sense, but it is definitely artistic and creative. Oh, we're back to a pink stripe, I think. Crochet is still the craft I go to. Just accidentally ate some paint. Oh no! If it's acrylic, yeah, I was gonna say, if it's acrylic, you'll be fine. It's still blah. I know that feel. Yeah, crochet is the craft I always come back to as sort of a comfort craft. If I'm really, really anxious or I'm having a really bad day, I tend to pick up my crochet, almost as like a weird form of meditation to sort of recenter myself, because it's the same motions over and over. And when I can focus my mind on what my hands are doing, then I can sort of let everything else go, and it helps calm my anxieties a lot. And I've also crocheted for over 25 years at this point. You dipped a chip in paint? Oh no! That sounds exactly like what I would do. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Also, I don't mean to laugh, but that is absolutely something that I would do. And that's precisely why I don't have food in the craft room while I'm working with resin. Because resin, for one thing, is toxic. So you definitely do not want to ingest that. But also just, yeah, because I'm that absent-minded. Yep, that too, Yalk. I've definitely done that before. Where I have, yeah, I've been painting something and I've just kind of dipped my brush into my juice cup or my coffee cup. I've definitely done that. There was also one time, my hair is pretty long, and when I'm crafting or painting, I usually keep it braided back. But there was one time I was leaning over a table to paint something, and my braid slid over, like over my shoulder, and just dropped right into the paint. And I think I just kind of sighed and then just started using the end of my braid as a paintbrush. Because, I mean, it'll wash out. It's fine. And the paint was already in there anyway. Everything was fine. Natural bristle paint. Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember when I was in high school, my art teacher actually had the class, like she offered to make paintbrushes out of each of our hair, essentially. And it was actually really, really cool. I remember thinking that was the neatest thing. Okay. Now I gotta remember how to start this one. It's 4 up, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. Flip. Yeah, something, something. People pay extra for that. And then single crochet here. Chain 1. And then double. That's how you get a haunted paintbrush. I mean, maybe. Only if the person then dies. Oh wait, maybe that's how they painted the picture of Dorian Gray. The picture of Dorian Gray was just painted with living paintbrushes. I've never actually read that book. The only reason I even know about Dorian Gray is from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Which is terrible, I know. But I've heard the book itself is not fantastic, so I've just never put in the effort to try to find it, to read it. When there's so many... Yeah, so the picture of Dorian Gray is this old... It's sort of... I think it was written around the same time frame as, like, Frankenstein and Dracula. And it's the story of this nobleman that never ages. And it ends up that he's, like... It's kind of like the original Horcrux, sort of. He's, like, chained his soul to a painting, and so the painting ages instead of him. So he stays eternally young and is immortal, essentially, until somebody finds the painting and realizes what's going on. And the painting is now of, like, an old, old, old man, because it's aging instead of Dorian Gray himself. It is Oscar Wilde, you're right. I knew it was... Yeah, I had forgotten, actually, that it was written by Oscar Wilde. The looser his morals and behavior becomes, the worse the painting looks too. Yeah, that sounds right. Like I said, I've never actually read it myself. It's just one I'm kind of vaguely aware of as being a classic. Huh. Have you actually read it, Cho? Is it worth, like, actually sitting down to read? Because, like, yeah, super queer is good, but I tend to find Oscar Wilde stuff is really hit or miss for me. You have, Muja? A great read. Okay. Okay. Note to self. Maybe actually look up the picture of Dorian Gray and give it a read. Because, yeah, I've never actually read it. I'm just kind of vaguely aware of it being around in pop culture. And I had totally forgotten it was by Oscar Wilde. Huh. Still reminding myself I don't need to hold my crochet 2 inches from my nose. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you read when you're young that you love. And then if you go back later to try to reread it, you're either like, oh gosh, this is actually so problematic, or you're like, why did I like this in the first place? Oh, yep. Shrimp check. Adjust your posture. Yalk, I have channel points things for that. If you want us to behave, you have to do channel points, or we're not going to listen to you. I am hydrating though. Nope, this is not a double, this is a single. There we go. Okay, now we have to stretch because Yalk is telling us to through channel points. So everybody stretch. And hydrate. I will burp. And then I will hydrate again. There's not a points thing for posture. Oh, you're right. I should add that. I will do that after stream, Dobby. I will add another one for shrimp check. I mean, I mentioned the shrimp check in the text, I think, for the stretch one. But you're right, there's not a specific posture check. Also, yes, that was the 7 o'clock burb, which was apparently the American Robin. I did my chain, so now this is a double. Yeah, so special edition streams, if you tuned in first thing tonight, or if you tune in first thing tomorrow at 5 p.m., you will get to hear the Canada goose that is on this clock. It's terrible. It sounds like somebody strangling a rubber chicken. I don't usually stream at 5, so you usually don't have to hear it. Oh. I do have one of those bird clocks. It's one of the Audubon Society bird song clocks. It is like 20 years old though, so some of the birds on it are starting to sound a little bit tired. It actually belonged to my roommate's mother, and when they were cleaning stuff out of their cottage, she was like, "Oh, do you want this? We're not gonna have it hanging up anymore." And I was like, "Heck yes, I want it." So now it hangs in my craft room. There we go. That might be a little better. "5 p.m. is too early." No, this is not a double. Yeah, that's fair, Randus. I mean, I suppose you could cheat and go back to the VOD if you really wanted to hear the terror of the cobra chicken, which I will never stop calling the Canada goose that now. I read one of those viral posts where it was like somebody that worked on a horse farm, and one of their employees, English was their second language, and they didn't know the word for goose. And there was this, like a flock of Canada geese that hung out in the horse pastures along with the horses. And the poster said that one time they were talking to the employee, and the employee was just like, "I do not like those cobra chicken." And I'm like, that's kind of the best description for a Canada goose that I've ever heard. So now I just call them cobra chicken, because they are. If you don't live in a place with Canada geese, count yourself very lucky. They're terrible. I mean, Randus, you do you. I'm not gonna quiz you on what happened during my streams. If you want to watch them, go for it. If not, that's fine, man. Time is a finite resource, if it even exists at all. Oh god, Yalk, if you've been hissed at by Canada geese, you are getting way too close to the Canada geese. Kara and I were on a walk the other day. We've got a duck pond that's really, really close to our house, so usually in the evenings after work we'll go out and take a walk around the duck pond. Especially right now because there's ducklings. Like tiny little, like fist-sized ducklings. They're so cute. But a week or two ago we were walking over toward the duck pond, and we were passing one of those like roadside drainage ditches that's a good 3 or 4 feet deep. And as we're walking by, we hear like a shuffling noise, and we look over, and we just see the head of a Canada goose like periscope up out of the drainage ditch. And we were both just like, nope, 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 and crossed the street so that we were nowhere near the goose. Especially since it could have had a nest down there. I kind of wonder if it did. And you do not want to get anywhere close to a nesting goose, because that's when they will break your arm. And I'm not even kidding. Oh, yep, Michigan. Makes sense. They're everywhere. We tend to only get them seasonally. Luckily, they don't winter here. We're too far north. But yeah, spring, summer, and into the fall, there's just geese everywhere. They nest up here in the spring, so... You learn to beware of the Canada geese real fast. Honk. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, we have those too, Randus. We've actually had turf wars between the seagulls and the Canada geese at points, because our seagulls are city gulls that know no fear of God or man, and will swoop down and take fries directly out of your hands, and there is no fending them off. Yeah, terrible, terrible birds. I like birds, but seagulls and geese are both just terrible. Kara, why would you speak those words? Why would you type those words? Post describing dragons as being a type of dinosaur, and thus likely would have been feathered. And followed by a picture of a giant fire-breathing Canada goose. Yeah, exactly. Okay, yes, I like this stitch very much. And it's actually making up really fast, too. I just hope I have enough yarn to get a decent-sized shawl out of this. I should. Because this is... cake batter color, apparently. Where's my... Oh yeah, this is a kilometer of yarn. That should be enough. This is not too bad of a yarn eating stitch, so I should be able to get a decent sized vest out of this. Did my chain there. Okay. Yeah, this is one of the 10-ounce balls that Lion does. Oh my god, a seagull stealing food right off the grill. Yeah, I would believe that. That does not surprise me. We have, haven't seen them in a few years, luckily, but a few years ago there was this giant nesting flock of them that just kind of descended on our local college's parking lots to the point where Kara and I were walking home from a restaurant one night after going out to dinner, and we were passing this, well, we're supposed to cut through the parking lot to get home, and we come up over the edge and step onto the side of the parking lot, and it was July, and it looked like it had snowed because there were so many seagulls just like hunkered down roosting on the parking lot. And we kind of looked at each other and just went, nope, and went out of our way to circle around the parking lot because we were not cutting through the middle of that. We were calling them the Seagull Mafia because they would swoop down on the students of the college and just shake them down for French fries. Oh no! Yalk, that's horrible. I mean, yeah, sounds right, but dude, your friend could have lost an eye. Oh, yeah. Yeah, seagulls are not to be messed with. Probably not quite as dangerous as Canada geese, just because Canada geese can indeed break limbs. They're like swans that way. You don't want to mess with swans either. Okay, and then, yeah, double crochet there. This is chain one, turn, and then, yeah, and then single crochet, right. Reminding myself how to start and end these rows. Posted a pic that's related. Oh no. I have concerns. Yup. Where's my... There we go. That's the button I want. See, I feel like seagulls are the ones that are more likely to be maliciously evil, though. Like, I feel like seagulls are capable of plotting. I'm not sure Canada geese are capable of plotting. They're capable of great violence and destruction, but I'm not sure they're capable of, like, premeditated evil the way seagulls are. No, see, around here, that's all seagulls, Muja. Geese tend to, like, at least around here, the geese tend to, like, lurk and just kind of mind their own business and then wait. And if you step, you know, within 3 feet of them, then they'll go ballistic on you. But you usually have to mess with a goose. The goose doesn't usually mess with you. Whereas seagulls will just go out of their way to fuck you up. Oh yeah, and crows and ravens are an entirely different. They're really smart. You be nice to the corvids, because yeah, the corvids will remember. Tonight on Bird Talk with SJ and friends. And we're back to white, I think, or pink. Grief. You know the traffic is bad when it's causing my camera to shake. Oh no, Dobby, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm glad I got out of my job when I did. Well, for many reasons. Possibly the most trivial of which is that I've killed 2 mosquitoes on the loading dock in my last week there. They're always a problem in the summer. Oh, I mean, if anything's gonna shake, it's my camera though, because I've got it on a folding arm that's clamped to the edge of my ironing board. So it's definitely a bit precarious. It's fine. Not precarious as in it's gonna fall, but precarious as in it's not exactly stable. So yeah, anything that shakes the ironing board a little bit is gonna shake the arm that has the camera on it much more. It's fine. Just means there was a big truck passing by. The joys of living on a main road. Okay, yeah. So the other thing that's likely to happen with this shawl is because it's 2 rows that alternate, I am very likely to get distracted, forget, and switch what type of row it is halfway through. I will hopefully realize it within a couple stitches based on like the way the row beneath it is. What was I? Oh yeah, look guys, I missed a stitch already. I did the thing already. Do I want to pull that all out? No. We're fudging it already, guys. It's fine. I missed my double crochet there. Whoop. That's fine. And again, that's why I like crochet and why I like doing a pattern as simple as this, because it means I can fudge it when I need to. It's like, well, I missed a stitch an entire row ago. I could pull it all out and put in that missing stitch, but nah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I did miss one. Thank you. Thank you, Randus. I appreciate that. Like I said, I could pull it all out and make it perfect, but it's way easier just to fudge it. It's fine. I'm also kind of one of those people that subscribes to the idea that no crafting project can or should be perfect. Like, not for any religious reason, but, you know, I definitely understand the idea that sometimes the flaws in the work make it more valuable. Because it shows you that actual human hands worked on it, right? Let me just build a time door. I mean, you're the Omnicrafter, Yalk. If anyone can do it, it's you. Yeah, it definitely just gives it character. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, okay, yeah, I can tell it's there. But once the entire thing is finished, you're not going to be able to tell there's one stitch missing. Exactly. Good enough. It's still going to hold. It's still going to be beautiful. It's not worth it for me to waste the time and energy it takes to pull it out and redo it. Yeah, exactly. As long as it's not structural. Seeing all the mistakes you've made that no one else will notice unless you point them out. Yep. Especially that happens to me a lot with my quilting, where if I'm doing a patchwork piece, and it's much easier with the hand sewing because I can make sure stuff lines up. But if I'm machine piecing things, there's always going to be edges that don't quite line up and corners that don't quite meet, and that drives me crazy sometimes. But then I'll show it to somebody else and they'll be like, yeah, what? You know, I don't see where the problem is. And I'm like, are you kidding? Look at how these two corners are offset by like a whole 5 stitches. But nobody else knows it but me. Or again, if they do notice, they'll just be like, oh yeah, that gives it more character. Or that makes it look, you know, it's more visual interest. Instead of having it be, you know, completely perfect. Alright, double. Chain. Single. So it's nice with this pattern where you can fudge it, because I have another pattern that I'm working on for a scarf where you can't actually fudge it. And there's been more than once where I've noticed I've missed a stitch or done a stitch wrong, and I have had to pull out 2 or 3 rows. I mean, granted, it's a scarf, so it's only like this wide as opposed to this. So it's not as bad to pull out a row or 2 on that. Which is probably the only reason I've tolerated it this long. But yeah, some patterns you can fudge and some you actually can't. And that happens to be one I can't. But this one I can, so it's fine. Oh goodness, it's already like 7:30, isn't it? I will go as usual until 8 or 8:30ish. Probably closer to the 8:30 side, since this is low impact, low strain. Oh, yeah, exactly, Yalk. Pictures of kitties. The best thing. I made a baby blanket for a coworker of mine a couple years ago. And to this day, occasionally when she posts on Instagram, it'll still be pictures of her daughter, who's now like 3 or 4, carrying that blanket around. And it's just so, like, humbling and heartwarming. Because, like, I'm actually pretty proud of that blanket. It came out really well. But it's one of those things where it's like, it could be flawed, it could have mistakes in it. But that doesn't usually matter to the person that you made it for, especially if you made it with love and with caring. Oh no! What did Luffy do? Muji, your dog is a menace. A precious, precious menace that we all love. Like, I'm just saying, Muja, you should probably get Luffy his own alt. Because then maybe he'd stop trying to steal yours all the time. Just get him his own alt to play around on. Yeah, I'm excited. I have actually not ever done the Omega raids. And a friend of mine hasn't either, so we're planning hopefully later this week. Nope, this is a single. Hopefully later this week to just run through all of the raid quests so that we can actually now do the after quests. Like, I know what happens. I know the storyline. I've just not actually done them myself. I know. Omega has been on my list for ages now. Kara keeps yelling at me too. The problem is time. And usually when I log on, it's with the intention of doing other things. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I would like to be able to do those. Single. It does have the best chocobo. I even have him in plush form. I can have him sitting right next to me for the whole raid. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm well aware of that. I think me and a couple friends were just gonna go in unsynced and do them. But yeah, if we start having trouble, I will definitely ping the FC. Brandis, how can you say that? Alpha is best verb. take those words back. I am actually interested to see if the Omega quests have any different dialogue doing them for the first time post-Endwalker. I doubt it, because most of the, like, raid side quests are kind of frozen in time, right? Like, they're meant to take place in the timeline at the point they came out, no matter when you're actually doing them. But I'm still interested to see. You know, who knows? They've thrown in some interesting Easter eggs before. Hope I'm doing this row right. I mean, I know I'm doing it right. Now I'm paranoid about missing stitches. Even though I don't actually care. Yeah, the Dragoon quests are the big ones that I was thinking of too. D&D just got canceled? Well, that's too bad, Randus. Isn't that usually a Wednesday night thing? Today is Tuesday. No, Dobby. The wibbly wobbly timey wimey is Alexander. Yes, but why not both? Fair point. I retract my objection. Oh, Tuesday you DM, Wednesday you play. Fair enough. I didn't realize you had that many. Nope, this is a single. If I talk to myself enough, eventually I'll remember the pattern. I think it's just that my fingers are so used to one, like, you know, doing one stitch over and over, and this is alternating between singles and doubles. So my fingers just haven't quite gotten the hang of it yet. They're like, wait, but we just did a double, so we should do more doubles, right? And it's like, no, alternate. There are many time shenanigans. Everything is time shenanigans when you get right down to it. At the atomic level, isn't it all just time shenanigans? Yeah, exactly, Alk. My muscle memory is confused at the moment. Ooh, exciting. Build up to the final showdown is always fun. Especially if you know it's coming. It's the final showdown. Okay, so fun fact. When I used to work at a comic store, there was I don't even know what to call it. I guess it was more or less a meme among all of us employees, where an hour before close, so like an hour before we were all off, somebody would put on the final countdown on the store's loudspeakers. Because it was like, I mean, it was this tiny, mom and pop run place. It wasn't a large chain. So we could do whatever we wanted with the music. And it was usually whoever was running the cash register. Yeah, there you go, Yauk. In joke. It was usually whoever was running the cash register was in charge of the speaker system because it was behind the cash. So they were the one that got to pick the CDs. We are being ordered to stretch and hydrate by Bread. Thank you, Bread. That is helpful. I am going to put this down and stretch. But yeah, it just became a thing that we kept a CD that just had the final countdown on it. And it was a race every night, an hour before close, to see who could get to it first to put it on. And it was bonus points if like people working elsewhere in the store had like lost track of time and forgotten what time it was. And so they'd hear the first notes of like da-da-da-da come over the loudspeakers and be like, oh, holy shit, it's an hour left. Yeah. It was fantastic. Yeah, the popping was all my knuckles. Sorry, Randus. That's part of why I make sure to do that off camera. Because I'm going to hydrate now. So these knuckles, my thumb, and my wrist are all double jointed. So when I stretch them, it's to be able to properly stretch them for me looks somewhat disturbing to everybody else because my joints bend far farther than they really should. And I know that some people really don't like looking at it, so I try to make sure to do that off camera. But yes, all of the popping sounds was also my knuckles. Yes, exactly, Cho. The knuckle crunch. It's just a natural part of life. Crunchy bones. Yeah. Yeah. Going downstairs first thing in the morning is fun because usually both my ankles will crack, my knees will crack. Sometimes my toes will crack. Yeah. I'm just kind of getting to that age where all of my bones start to go crunch every morning. Okay, so double, chain, single, chain, double. Yes. Yes, that's how this works. And then chain, flip, and then single to start. And then 1, 2, 3, and singles. The friend that sounds like they're unzipping their spine when they reach over their head. Yeah. For me, that's not when I reach up, but if I can twist. If I twist my spine, it tends to do that. And it feels so good. Also, along with the stretching and the hydrating, reminders to anyone that needs to take medications or check their medications, please do so. Anything else that you need to do, any other steps that you need to take to stay healthy for yourself, please do so. If you have a pet, maybe give them a hug. All the usual self-care stuff. Oh, okay. And part of self-care is making sure you are not holding other people up. Oh yes, and eat foods. Thank you, Randus. I was doing that during break. Everyone else also eat foods. Alright, Muja has redeemed a board game arena. So, I'm going to switch my video here. And check and see. Oh, I left that on that screen. Yes, I am still here. Let's see how many boards it's my turn in. Oh, back to the main page. Come on. There we go. It is my turn in buttons. No. No. I didn't want you to zoom. I wanted you to scroll. There we go. Oh, empty board. Oh, right, because I busted out. Okay, I want red button. Give me red button. Next. It's only my turn in 3 tables. This will be a short one. Hanafuda with Dobby. Okay, this is interesting. Not bad. Oh, okay. I will take that bright card. Thank you, deck. Next. The Castles of Burgundy game with Yalk and Kate. Let's see, a 3 and a 4. What have we gotten 3 and 4? Oh, right. Things just got redealt. I want that mine. So I can use the 4 and spend 1 worker here to be able to take a tile that doesn't actually match the dice. So I'll take that. And I can actually use the 3 to put it in right there, which I will do. I think I've got this set to capture my cursor, don't I? I hope so. And that's it. That was a short one. Thank you, Musha. Board games are self-care, absolutely. Also, as a reminder, if you're looking to sink channel points into things, our little dragon pet down in the corner can be bred and also battled, which I don't mind if you do either one. I do not mind if the appearance changes, because all of these little critters are cute, and actually I'm quite happy to see how it grows and changes. Because I love little colorful pixel pet games like this. Yeah, it's late enough in the evening that I think a lot of people, because I play a bunch of board games with randos as well, things tend to slow down a bit in the evenings. Because I think people are starting to, either in the middle of dinner, in the middle of family things, or are already in bed. suspect. Yeah, I'm betting they're both probably already in bed as well. Because it's close to 1 a.m. over there, so. Not that that means anything, as you can well attest, Dobby. Because isn't it close to, like, what, 2 a.m. for you? I was just gonna say. Because, it is a Tuesday night. Like, not that I'm gonna shame you. You're an adult and you can live your own life, but don't you have work tomorrow? I mean, again, no shade. I've definitely done worse. Oh, you have Wednesdays free? That's nice. In that case, yeah, who cares? Stay up all night. Oh, right, you're still in school. I keep forgetting how baby you are. I'm just like defaulting to being used to thinking of everybody doing like the full-time work adult grind. I keep forgetting that we actually have people that are still students. Yeah, no, I totally feel that. I actually did not work in school either for pretty much the same reason. Oh, goodness. Incoming wee woos. That's fine. Yeah, I graduated college 10 years ago. Or I graduated university 10 years ago. I got my master's degree 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Yes. Yes, 2014. Good lord. I had not realized it had been that long. Internal standard of most people. Yeah, right? We're all a lot older than you think we are. 2, 3. Man, no shame in that show. Like, honestly, the only reason I went through with getting a master's degree is because it got me in the country. The student visa route of immigration was much, much, much easier than the let's get married route. At least for us. So that's what I did. Yes, thank you, Dobby. We are ancient. Did you hear us talking about our crackling joints? We are all elderly. Yeah, you're a little older than me, Cho, but not that much. I will be, oh god, what is this? 2022. I am currently 33 and will be 34 in September. So I'm not old, but I'm getting there. Yeah, so you're a little bit older than me. I was imagining you were older than that, Yalk, but I think it's because your Discord profile picture. I just keep expecting, because I tend to subconsciously associate people with whatever their Discord picture is. So I was just always expecting you to like, oh yeah, Yalk's totally, you know, in their 40s because of their icon and no other reason. 3. Yes, you are absolutely 225 years old. That seems correct. Also, another weird brain association thing. I think part of the reason, and this is going to sound very odd, well, maybe not. Part of the reason I keep forgetting that you're so young, Dobby, is because you play a Hrothgar. And again, my brain just kind of does the association, and I'm like, oh yes, Hrothgar, a big, beefy, manly man, definitely an adult, definitely like in his 30s or 40s, because Hrothgar. No, sorry, Rogadin. Yeah, no, I'm also thinking of Voot, who's the same way. I don't even know what Voot's age is. But yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're a Rogadin. Sorry. Brain bad. I don't know. My brain just assumes that everybody that plays the big beefy characters is automatically, like, definitely an adult. Like, and by definitely an adult, I mean, like, definitely my age or older. No, my brain was even going, gosh, I don't know how to try to pronounce Thross's full name in chat because that is definitely a Rogadin name, and then my mouth said Hrothgar for some reason. Yeah, my apologies. Ooh, a new baby. Ooh, cute baby. Slightly different eyes. And a kitty mouth. Excellent. I'm still not going to try to pronounce Thross's full name. Because that's... I cannot. I mean, like, even my Femro, I don't usually try to pronounce... Well, I deliberately picked a name that's easier to pronounce. Because I just can't. Okay, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dropping. Oh, just Thos. Thos. I mean, I could also just stop talking. That is equally viable. Look, it took me until 3/4 of the way through Stormblood before I could reliably pronounce Limsa Liminsa without mangling it. Thosinral or Thosinrail? I'm gonna guess Thosinrail. Thosin. Okay, that's bad. Yeah. Hopefully I can get my brain to stick with that. Thosinrail. Okay. Hello, Kifa. I'm just embarrassing myself trying to pronounce row names. No big deal. And also pretending I haven't missed stitches in this. Like 2 spoons. Today was long. Oh no, I'm sorry about that, Kifa. Oh, and Yalk has gifted a sub to Kifa. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you. Well, gosh, if mispronouncing row names gets me subs, maybe I should do it more often. Not. Yeah, no, when I chose my Femrose name, I'll put it in chat. I very deliberately mangled one together that I could pronounce. It's Emberlim, and it's Ember for short. And that's about the extent of my pronunciation abilities. Like I said, I kept mangling Limsa Laminsa for some reason when I first started playing. I could not get the fantasy syllables to stick in my brain. Still have a surname for me to mangle? Yeah, sure, why not? I don't even remember what her surname looks like. Because I just kind of see the Thos bit and my brain shortcuts to Dobby and then I stop looking at the rest of the name. Goodness. Lots of wee-woos tonight. Oops. Sorry, that was my headphones. I mean, they're all headed down toward the Maples. This is probably fine. We live like 2 blocks from the local fire station, which is why you're hearing them pretty much anytime they go, they have to pass our house just because of the way that the station is situated in regards to the rest of the city. Oh, okay. I'm gonna guess Bleiberquen. Yeah, my tongue doesn't want to do this. Bleiberquen. It's like I can read it in my head and then my tongue will not obey me. We're not actually a one-way street, but the way that the fire station is situated, it's off the main road and we are the main road. So pretty much anything that they have to go to that's to the east, they have to go right past our house. Ooh, ice cream. Ice cream sounds like a great way to top off a very long day. What kind of ice cream? I also have ice cream in the freezer that I could have right after stream. Maybe I'll do that. I have Elk Crossing in the freezer, which is the non-branded Moose Tracks. Because Moose Tracks is apparently copyrighted. So President's Choice went with Elk Crossing for their legally distinct Moose Crossing ice cream. Or Moose Tracks ice cream, yeah. Tongue, why? Yeah, no, that totally works, Dobby. That would be my thought as well, as far as how to replace that and condense it to one letter. Cherry Garcia. See, you're welcome to that because I'm not a fan of cherries. But please enjoy. Yeah, no, there's a lot of wee-woo. I apologize for that. Wonder if lightning struck somewhere. Because we've got some rain going on as well. Oof. Both Y's is having the same sound. Okay. I mean, this is probably the only time you'll ever hear me try to pronounce it out loud. take a poll and see how many people are lactose intolerant, maybe? Although, as I'm sure Kara is getting ready to type, if it is actual ice cream made with cream and not milk, and you're actually lactose intolerant and not allergic, you can eat ice cream. Kara has discovered this because the way that cream gets processed, lactate is also good, but like the way that cream gets processed in the making of ice cream, all of the sugar gets removed from it, and lactose is just a sugar. So if it's just lactose that is the problem for you, and it's made with real cream, you should be able to eat it without a problem. However, if your problem is that you're actually allergic to milk protein, which is also a thing, and a lot of times gets mistaken for lactose intolerance, then you have a problem. Yes, Cassine. I could not remember. I mean, I'm still probably pronouncing it wrong, as we've established. Yeah, unfortunately, Kara and I are in the same boat. We're 3/4 of the way across the continent and do not have the money for it this year. But hopefully in future, I would love to be able to come visit Seattle, Victoria, Northwest area, and see everybody that's out in that neck of the woods someday. My eternal regret is that we didn't know Julie when we were in Victoria for our honeymoon. We totally would have met up with her for lunch. But we had not met her yet, unfortunately. I did indeed marry. I mean, we've shown them pictures. Legit, Kara's just an IRL Lalafell. She's precious. Yeah, so theoretically, Cho, you should be okay if it's real cream ice cream and not frozen. Well, okay, so here in Ontario, they have really, really strict like labeling laws. So anything that's labeled as ice cream has to be made with cream, and anything else is labeled as frozen dairy dessert. So Kara can tell really, really easily what she can and can't eat. You might have to do a little bit more reading of ingredients, depending on labeling restrictions. But theoretically, if milk isn't on the label and cream is, you should be okay. I mean, does she tank the floor in real life? Well, I mean, she did take a 3-hour nap today. So she was tanking the couch, for sure. Yeah, because you and Kay are on the US side, right, Cho? It's one of the ones that's in the US too. Okay, good. I wasn't sure. Because sometimes the labeling restrictions vary so much, and sometimes they vary so much by state. Okay, yeah, I thought you guys were on the US side. You tank our bed pretty well, but you were... Lol. Phrasing, hun. Phrasing. That's not cheese, Randus. That's plastic. And you will never get me to say otherwise. Ah, yarn, no. Nope, not a double. This is a single. Cheese in plastic is not cheese. I totally agree, Kifa. Cheese in plastic is yet more plastic. Although, the exception to that might be cheese sticks. Because, like, I still buy the cheese sticks that come in the plastic wrappers, but only from, like, Black Diamond and other, like, quality brands. Kraft singles are not cheese. I didn't even like them when I was a kid. I was too stupid to know better and I still didn't like them. Yeah, string cheese is wonderful. String cheese, and then we also get like marble and cheddar cheese sticks too. Those are fantastic. Double. Oh yeah. No, my parents bought that all the time, Randus, and I ate it because that's what was given to me, but I didn't like it. Like, I have very vivid memories of hot dogs cooked in the microwave, wrapped in a slice of white bread instead of a bun, with ketchup and a Kraft single. And that was like Friday night dinner. Yeah. I think I can hear Kara gagging from here. Also trying to make grilled cheese with Kraft singles. Yeah, they didn't melt. They just kind of got warm and then stuck to the bread. Oh gosh, Yalk. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Ohio, so as much as we tend to say otherwise, culturally and culinistically, probably not too far different from what's going on in Michigan. Just more corn. I always liked PB&J. I think was probably my favorite growing up. I always wanted a PB&J. White bread, grape jelly. None of that strawberry stuff, only grape. And the chunkiest peanut butter possible. Yeah, pretty much, Randus. All the way around the Great Lakes. We like to think we're divided on state lines a lot, but it's pretty similar. Like, even when I moved up here to Ontario, when I was driving up on the Canadian side, I was looking around just like, huh, it's pretty similar to home. Like, when I first moved up here, everyone kept asking me, like, oh, it's like the culture must be so different. You must have culture shock. And I'm like, no, it's pretty much like home. It's not that different from Ohio. It's more culturally diverse, and that's about it. Oh, welcome back, Merlin. Merlin has fed our baby with steak. Chain. White bread. Oh, yeah, that wins. I think that wins, Joe. I've never even heard of that before. Was that like a thing, or was that just K? I'm trying to think of other like bizarre things I ate as a kid, because I'm sure there were some. Oh, yeah, that hurts me. I don't think winning is the word for that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, single. Flip. Drip Diet Coke into her dinner rolls? Is there any sort of a reason behind that? Can I even ask why? I mean, yeah, that's okay, that's fair, Cho. But still, oof. It makes my teeth hurt just thinking about it. There we go. I think the worst I've ever... Well, okay, not even the worst. Oh, Kifa is telling us to hydrate. Not with Kool-Aid. Do not hydrate with Kool-Aid. Well, I mean, you can. But thematically. I'll have to end stream soon. I'm out of fluids. I can't hydrate anymore. Not that this is really a food crime, but I think the thing that I do that makes Kara cry the most is I put, and this isn't even that weird because I know plenty of people that do it, is I'll put ketchup on my scrambled eggs and just eggs in general. See, to me that's just totally normal. I grew up with that, but I moved up here and then apparently it's a food sin. Ketchup and eggs is just good. I also do, I'll also make corned beef hash, like the kind that comes in a can, and pour ketchup on that and mix it in. My family always called that puppy food because it came out looking like kibble, and then I would just pour ketchup on it. I believe that hot sauce works a lot better, Randus. The problem is I'm allergic to hot sauce. Well, I'm allergic to 99% of hot sauce. So I typically cannot, and even if I could, I don't usually like spicy things just because I've been conditioned to think, oh god, no, you're allergic to that, don't eat it. So I have very little spice tolerance. Yes, this is correct. 2, 3. Taking random things from the fridge and making something delicious. Yeah. That is a skill that passed my family by. My dad can grill and barbecue and he makes a mean chili. But that's about it. And my mother doesn't really cook either. My childhood was mostly like hamburger helpers. Granted, both my parents worked as well. So it was a lot of times that we would get home from school and they would get home from work and they were just too tired to do anything fancy or involved for dinner. So it was either we went out to eat, because luckily enough, my dad had and still has a really good job. So we were able to afford that. Or it was a lot of like hamburger helper, macaroni and cheese, the really, really easy stuff. Oh, good evening, Kay. Nah, you don't have to defend yourself. It's just that Cho's ratting on you. Cottage cheese and Fritos? That's one I've never heard before. My aunt and she got me to do it, used to eat cottage cheese with like a heck of a lot of black pepper. Like just slather your bowl in black pepper. Dill pickles dipped in mashed potatoes. That's interesting. I can see where that would come from. Not something I would personally enjoy, I don't think, but I can see the appeal in that. The crunch plus the potato. Oh yeah, Cho, you take the cottage cheese, which is bland, and then you add so much black pepper that it gives it flavor. Like to the point where my aunt would serve it to me and I would be sneezing while I ate it because it was that much black pepper. Frozen fries while the oven is heating up. I don't do that with fries, but I would do that with tater tots, which is just fries in another form. I like the texture of frozen tater tots better than the texture of frozen fries. It's just purely a texture thing. I used to, okay, this isn't necessarily a weird food tasting thing, but I've always preferred like really soft, like the floppy French fries instead of the ones that are like so crispy they're stiff, right? I don't like crunchy French fries. So when I was a kid, whenever we would go to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, and we're talking when I was like 5 or 6, you know, just old enough to be feeding myself with French fries, I would sit down with my, you know, my kid's meal of French fries, and I would pick up a French fry, I would tear off the crispy ends and put them in a pile and then eat the squishy middle. And then I would pick up another fry and do the same thing, so that by the time I was done, I would have eaten all of the soft, squishy middle bits, and I would just have this small pile of the little pointy end nubbins that were too crispy for me. And then usually I think I would try to get my dad to eat the nubbins because he likes crispy fries. But I just remember my parents used to laugh at me so much because I would sit there and very seriously just tear the ends off of all of my fries because I didn't want to eat the crispy bits. So that's probably, yeah, fried mashed taters, exactly. That's probably like my weirdest kid quirk that I had with food. good grief. It's already almost 8:30, isn't it? Well, I will finish up this row then, I guess. And call it a night. Crisp outside, soft inside. That's fair too. I don't know. I think I've always had like kind of a tender mouth. And I think the crispy fries it hurt to chew them, so I didn't like them. I don't know. I've never liked super crunchy, crispy things. Waffle fries are the shit. I love waffle fries. And steak fries, those are the best. Only 5:30? Oh gosh, I've got like 3 hours to go. Thank you, Kifa. Oh my gosh, Kay, I used to do that too. Just squish the cheese together. So what I'm hearing is Cho doesn't make lasagna often? Or Cho makes lasagna all the time? I mean, yeah. That's the best way to tell. You're never too grown up to steal cheese and smush it into a ball. Oh no. Yeah. I don't think I ever liked lasagna as a kid either. It's too many wrong textures. I didn't like lasagna until I was much older. But then again, I'm also not a fan of tomatoes. So I think part of my problem with lasagna when I was younger was too much tomato flavor. I'm a little better about it now, but I still don't like too much tomato in things. Too much cheese? Kifa, I don't think that's a thing. I'm very sorry, but I don't think there's such a thing as too much cheese. Because eventually, if you keep raising the cheese threshold in lasagna, doesn't it just kind of become a cheesy bake with tomatoes? Like, I'm not seeing a downside here. Oh, okay. Too much cheese disagrees. That's fair. See, that bit I can see. Did I do that correctly? Did I? Did I? What? Oh, no, I did not. Yeah, I definitely did not. This is the one where I have to chain 4. 2, 3, 4. Did I? Okay, wait. Yes, okay. 4 and then single crochet. I got this. I totally got this. Yes, I've got this. So it is, It's the one I've got up here in the corner. It's called a cat's eye lace stitch. And it's alternating rows of the chain stitches to create the openings, and then double and single crochets to, I guess, provide the structure. I can link the tutorial I'm using if you want me to. But yeah, it's just called Cat's Eye Lace. Ooh, yeah, lasagna with cottage cheese and mozzarella instead of ricotta. I like both ways, actually. I've had both and I like both. Oh yeah, I said I was going to end at the end of that road, didn't I? Well, it is indeed almost 8:30. I will be back tomorrow evening with Pokemon, as is typical for Wednesdays. And then I will be back on Sunday with more patchwork. I'll probably work on this in between. Yeah, my Tuesday streams are kind of anything, so I don't know if I'll be doing this next Tuesday or if I'll be doing something else next Tuesday. It'll be just Pokemon. So Wednesday nights I've been doing a randomized playthrough of Platinum. So it'll be Nintendo DS Pokemon. If you liked watching RimWorld, I could do that on Tuesdays. It's one of the options. Tuesday is kind of my roulette wheel. So yeah, if you would like me to do RimWorld on Tuesday, you can drop me a line, let me know. I don't usually decide what I'm doing until immediately before. So yeah, the rough plan is kind of to alternate Tuesdays where, like last week I did RimWorld, so this week I'm doing crafting. So next week I'll do gaming again, and to kind of bounce them back and forth. So yeah, I could do some RimWorlds. I'm here to entertain, Kay. Alright. I will leave you. I got a decent amount done tonight. I was not expecting it to make up this fast, so I'm quite pleased with it. And we'll see if my idea for turning it into a shawl works out or not. Alright, let's see if there's anyone up to raid. Don't know who's on Tuesdays. Just Dash Ducks. That's alright. I will send you toward Dash Ducks. It looks like they're tootling around in the sunset. So thank you to everybody, to all my followers, my subscribers. Thank you guys for tuning in, keeping me company, lurking, all the usual great stuff. Hopefully I'll see you back tomorrow night, and if not, I'll see you in the future. Thank you.